Hello AOS fans, it's me Pete and I'm here to give you another deck review. As you've already seen from the title and the picture, it's Magore. Magore's come back, he's found the Nightvault and he's looking for skulls and blood. So, what am I taking and how am I taking it? Well, we've got a few restrictions on this game. It was a Patreon request, so we have a few restrictions from Patreon and a few others of our own. As you all know, we have our faction fraction, which we always apply, which means we have to have 4 objectives and half of our power cards have to be from our faction specific deck. And on top of that, GW have released their ban list and their restriction list, and we are going to use that wherever possible as well, because whilst we're not playing tournaments and they only apply to tournaments, we want to use them wherever possible to give you guys a good idea of how it's going to impact your own decks and what kind of things you could be looking out for. On top of that, we also have a couple of requests. One is from Patreon, and that is that we only use the cards from the Nightvault sets, so Nightvault and Nightvault warbands only. And we also added in one other little thing of our own, which is we can only also use the cards from the warband box. So I've got Magore, so any of the cards that came in the Magore box that I can take, I can also use. And the other thing our Patreon supporter requested is that we do not know who we're fighting. Robert and I pretty much always know what the matchups are going to be. We agree them quite a bit in advance, so this one is a mystery matchup. And as such, we are going to have to make our decks as generic and all-comer based as possible. So this is the kind of thing I would probably try and make to take to a tournament. So what have I taken? First one I've got is Khorne Sees Us. Score immediately if I take 2 or more fighters out of action in a phase. Well, I'm hoping to chop a lot of people up, and a mid-turn glory is always nice. I've also got Kill Again, which I score in an end phase if at least 2 fighters from each warband are out of action. If a lot of killing's going on, that will help me. I've also got No Escape, which I score immediately, another score immediately, if 3 or more of my fighters are charged this phase. Well, I'm going to do a lot of charging, so hopefully that's a really easy mid-turn glory to score. I've also got Show of Strength, which is score immediately, another immediately, 3 out of the first 4, which I get if my leader takes an enemy fighter out of action. Magore's going to be doing a lot of chopping, hopefully I can get some double glory for that. I've then gone for Chosen Champion. I'm going to be bigging up Magore probably for the most part, so I might as well get another glory for playing lots of upgrades on him. And Master Stroke, which I score if I kill someone as part of a reaction attack. 2 of my guys do have reaction attack abilities, so hopefully that might come out quite easily. I've got Annihilation, it's go big or go home time. I'm hoping whoever I come up against I can wipe them off the board, and that'll be 5 glory for me. Catching Up, which I score in an end phase if I have fewer glory points than Robin. If things aren't going well for me, this will help just get me another glory without me having to try and do anything apart from just get beaten a bit more. I've then got Combination Strike, which I score in an end phase if I score at least 2 other objectives. Well, I've got 5 score immediately, so I'm hoping that one might be easy to do, and it does get me 2 glory. I've then got Conquest, which is the 3rd end phase, which I score if all my fighters are in my opponent's territory. That's 2 glory. Fired Up, which I score if anybody's inspired. Well, I'm really hoping that I can get at least one person inspired by the time this comes out, because if not, frankly, something's gone terribly wrong. And the last one is What Armor, which is another score immediately, which I get if a friendly fighter makes an attack with a cleave and it succeeds. So those are all of my objectives. It's a fairly mid-range scoring objective, 18 in total, 5 instant scores and 1/3 end phase. So I'm really hoping that I can get a lot of those easy instant scores out, get that glory at the start and get upgraded. So onto my Gambits, and 6 of these are from my warband specific deck. The first one of which is Blood Frenzy, which I can play as a reaction after an attack action takes a fighter out of action. I then can roll 1 extra dice for the first attack in the next activation, and both hammers and swords are successes for that. I've tried to go for a lot of cards here. They're going to give me a lot of extra dice to roll, because I figure the more dice I roll, the more chance I've got of hitting, and the more chance I've got of hitting, then the more chance I've got of inspiring my guys. The next one is Continue the Slaughter, another reaction which I play after an attack or ploy takes a fighter out of action. The first attack action in the next activation has +1 damage. So both of these cards, Blood Frenzy and Continue the Slaughter, are most useful when someone takes out one of my guys and helps me either boost my dice rolls or my damage caused. I've then got Demonic Resilience, which is the first friendly foe who takes damage, only suffers 1. Could be handy if Robin bigs up one of his guys and then goes to one-shot one of mine. That'll take him down a peg or 2. And then Furious Inspiration. Just inspire a fighter. That will really help me out with Fired Up, and it'll help beef up some of my guys who haven't got to rely on that initial attack. I then got Glory to Khorne, which I roll 1 extra attack dice for the first attack made in the next activation. Again, more dice rolled means more chance of hitting and more chance of inspiring. And to the Victor the Spoils. If I kill somebody who has a wound characteristic of 3 or more, I immediately draw 3 power cards. The more power cards I can draw, the more chance of getting loads of nasty combos out really will help boost me. Then on to my non-warband specific ones, I've got Hidden Paths. Do like this card, like it a lot, taking a lot of my decks now. The ability to dump Magore suddenly in the backfield, maybe behind somebody who's cowering away, one of the leaders or somebody like that. That could come very handy. I've then got My Turn, which is play after an attack or ploy damages a friendly fighter. I could push them up to 1 hex and make an attack with them. Now, this one will come in handy for Master Stroke. It'll also be handy if someone like Magore or the dog gets attacked, because they don't have a reaction attack back. I've then got Haymaker, which is +2 dice for the first attack action made. I cannot use defense rolls for that fighter afterwards, and the effect persists until the end of the round, so this one would be saved for that 4th activation charge. 2 extra dice would be very nice indeed. I've then got Pit Trap. If I push someone back, I can do 1 damage to them. And the last card is good old Sidestep. Haven't seen Sidestep in a long time, and I think maybe this ban list and restriction list will see the return of some of the nicer old cards like Sidestep, which just couldn't quite make it into my deck before. Now remember, I've got a lot of restrictions on the cards I can take, so these are the ones that I think are best. There's probably a lot of other ones that I should take, but with the restrictions in place, they just weren't available to me. And then on to my upgrades. Once I've scored that glorious glory with the help of all those gambits, these are the upgrades that I'll be buying. First one is Furious Charge. It's Zarka specific, and it means that when he makes a charge action, both hammers and swords are successes. Again, more chance of successes, more chance of getting inspired, and the better they get. After that is No Respite. It's a reaction. During an attack or ploy that will take him out of action, I can make an attack with them. Well, if I've got a beefed up Zarkas or a beefed up Magore, somebody like that, it'll be nice to get another attack out of them if they are about to be killed. And I've got Rage Fueled Attacks, another Zarkas only one. I might end up using my chosen champion on Zarkas at this rate. If this fighter's attack action with a range of 1 or 2 has 1 extra damage, again that makes him pretty scary indeed, because Zarkas isn't bad, he's not shoddy, especially once he's inspired. And then the next one is Trophy Hunter. This one is a Magore only one, and it basically gives him an extra glory when he kills somebody. I don't know how many people I'm going to be coming up against, but it's always nice to double your glory income from killing people. And then Wrathful Blows. This one's a Gartok one, and it gives me +1 dice when he makes an attack action. Doesn't have to be a charge, just an attack, and that could be very handy. Of my non-faction specific ones, I've gone for 5 faction specific ones there. I've got Deathly Fortitude, -2 move and +2 wounds, always nice to have. Tethered Spirit, now this is one of the restricted cards. I have hit my 5 card limit on my restrictions. Butcher's Eye, this is one I haven't really thought about taking before, but if there are any crits in all the attack rolls that they make, then you resolve the attack as if it had cleave. I've got a lot of ploys in there to give me lots of extra dice to roll for attacks, so the chances of rolling a crit are much higher, and that'll help me with the What Armor objective. I've then got Champion's Fortitude, reroll 1 defense dice each time you make a defense roll. Well, I only get 1 dice, so the ability to reroll that will be very handy. And then I've gone for a couple of classics, Great Strength and Great Speed. My guys aren't fast, so the Great Speed will be very handy there, and Great Strength's always nice to really beef up one of my guys and enable them to one-shot some of the other bigger people they'll be coming up against. So that's it, that's my deck, that's my plan. It's going to be in your face, it's going to be bloody. I'm hoping that it's not going to be another Magore-Gerzag match-off, because the last time those two faced up, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping I get a lot of my extra dice roll ploys out early so I can get a few extra early attacks, get some of my guys inspired, maybe kill 1 or 2 people and get some glory that I can start doing some upgrades with early. I would really love to get to the Victor the Spoils out early, because those 3 extra power cards in my hand really help to tie things together. But we'll see how it all falls. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you can remember all the restrictions that we've got in place, and you can think of any cards that fit inside those restrictions that you think I should rather take rather than the ones I've got, do let me know. And let me know how you get on with Magore in general. Do you find that in this new world of Nightvault he's got plenty of extra skulls to be taking home and putting on his mantelpiece, or do you think he's getting a bit starved of attention right now? I shall see you soon in the Nightvault.